Hello, everyone. Good evening and happy Friday night. For some reason, the week feels like a blur, but I'm really glad tonight to be live just for a few minutes to connect with you all. My husband was live like 5 minutes earlier than me, and I realized since we're having a very late dinner tonight, that I had a few minutes to go live too. And so we kind of did a tag team, tandem Facebook Live evening for the Garrett family. We threw the kids in the bed, and then my husband decided to lead me into temptation by tossing out crab legs on the equation. And so we're having a very late seafood dinner tonight. And so after I'm done with this live, and I promised him I was not going to be as long as he was. Hey, everybody. And so tonight we're talking about faking it until you make it. Okay. Earlier today, my husband and I were having a really awesome conversation about being authentic, about actually being the person that you say you are on camera and off camera. And here's where this came from. There was a young lady who shared that she followed someone online for a really long time. She was sharing that, she's always posting Chanel bags and Fendi bags, and life is so prosperous, and I'm living my best life. And so she knew that when she was hosting her conference, she knew this woman that she admired so much and respected so much. She had to have this lady come to the conference. Okay. And I think my husband said it went like super viral. So maybe y'all saw it. I haven't seen the video. I'm just referring to the story I've been told, because she's not the only person that does this. And so when she reaches out to the young lady to collaborate with her, the young lady says, "Hey, I wish I could be a part of it, but I've been evicted from my home, from my apartment, and now I am living with somebody else. I'm supposed to be moving out by this date, and I have absolutely no idea where I'm going to be living." There's no idea. Hello there. She has no idea where she's going to be living, and she's concerned, the life that she's been putting on Instagram, the life that she has been projecting out to all of these other people was completely false, right? Was completely something against what she's always declared. Okay. And so this evening, I want to talk about us speaking, sharing, showing up from an authentic place. Even when we ourselves are in a hole, it doesn't mean that our mindsets have to be in the hole. It doesn't mean that your entire life is without balance or without beauty or gratitude, even in this exact moment. Okay. Even in this moment. And so I find it interesting. And we know that, there's all kind of people who take pictures in front of cars at the dealership. They do all of a plethora of these things, and come to find out later, the dealership says, "This person has never bought a car from here. We have no idea who they are. They just showed up here, told us to hold the ribbon," and they take some pictures and then they go home, as if creating this Instagrammable lifestyle, creating the perfection or the illusion of something incredible is now our life's goal. It's now the goal. We can take, and my husband used this example, we can take Tai Lopez, right, as part of it, where he literally said he was a millionaire for so long until people started to believe that he was a millionaire. He took pictures in front of everybody's car and perpetrated and said that he was this person until he manifested himself into being that person. And I use quotations when I say that. He said long enough, "Good evening," that he was this person until people started to believe it. And then he can now be that person because people are buying into the mission, into that demographic. This lack of authenticity that we put out into the world, and it doesn't match up, right? So there have been moments I was sharing with she's not watching tonight, I don't think, maybe she'll hop on later. And I was just sharing with her from a very open and vulnerable place. She's going through a challenging time in her life and in her family right now. And I just leaned in. I'm saying? I just leaned in. I listened to where she was, and I wanted her to know, hey, listen, we've been broke before. Like I tell y'all all the time, when me and my husband first got married, we didn't have nothing. Okay. Nothing. We wrap our food up in like the newspaper that it came with and put it in the microwave. We were sleeping on the floor, no bed. So now to be in the place where we are now is so far away from that place. We've been on food stamps. We've been on Section 8. We've been all those things. We've been married a long time. So we have been in the trenches, right? We're out the trenches now. But it doesn't mean that we've never been there or seen that. So I told her, I said, just because this is the moment that you're in right now, this is not your forever season. It's not your forever season, okay? But in the same time, in the same space, I also feel like in some ways it's okay for us to share, encourage, deliver from in places where we have been moved away from, right? In places that we have been moved away from. And some of us, we are still trying to share, do whatever, and you end up faking it until you make it. You're putting it out there into the world like you have this down. It's okay that we're not submerged in a place of being there and having arrived already. Okay. And so tonight we're just talking for a few minutes about stemming from a more authentic place. Okay. Being able to sit there. There are days where I still share, listen, these kids, I might pop off on these kids sometimes. There are days when I still share, wow, I have mountains and valleys and challenges in my business. Every year, the conference gives me a run for my money. Every year, I get a couple surprises that I wasn't expecting. Every year, I am at a place in my life where I'm trusting. God is not going to let me get to a place where I'm not trusting him. Every year, for the last 7 years, it's been this case. And I try to be open and share about where I am right now and even where I'm going before it happens. Because I can't walk around and say, okay, I knew it all along and I've always been this person. No, there's an evolution that has to happen here. There has to be a churning over, a changing, okay, that happens as we are building. But sometimes we're faking it till we make it, and it doesn't have to be that way, okay? So specifically to the brilliant moms that follow me here in this space, the brilliant women that follow me here in this space, in this community. And we have so many things going on. And some of us, I sent an email out to the conference ladies this week. I said, some of us have so many things happening in our life right now, we are just coasting in on fumes. I said, but just get here to us in Atlanta. We'll love on you. We'll take good care of you. You know, I was like, but take care of yourself till you can get here. Being at a place of knowing what your limitations are, knowing what your boundaries need to be. Being in a place where I know I'm fragile right now. Being in a place where you're still figuring it out. So you press pause on some other things so that you can work harder on a different plethora of options and ideas. But some of us, we are so busy feeling like we should be somewhere else. And I know I'm not the only person that has experienced this, a place of, I should be here instead of here. Where should you be? Who should you be? Why is this the line of demarcation for you? That I should have achieved all of this by now. And so if you're feeling like you're in that crunch or you're in that circle, you're not by yourself. And there are a plethora of us, a bunch of us, who are in a place of, I should be somewhere different, or I should be a different person by now. Who should you be? Where should you be? Why? Why is this mandatory for right now? Why do I need to be a different person now? Now you can think about and forecast on the woman that's coming in the future, right? The person that you are looking forward to being, and bring attributes of who she is into your today. That's part of being her today, is pulling the future you into today, but it doesn't mean it has to be fake. For example, the future me is always consistent, quote unquote, always. If the future me is always consistent, right? then what can I do today to be more consistent? Hi, Lude. What can I do today to show up better? What can I do today to love my children better? To do intentional loving on, intentional hugging, intentional affirmations, making them feel seen and heard and appreciated. Today, what do I need to do in this moment to be a version of the future me? But it doesn't have to be inauthentic. The future me is disciplined. Okay, how are you going to be disciplined today? The future me has a killer business. How are you going to nurture that business today? The future me is diligent. She doesn't give up. She's resilient. How are you going to be that version today? But you don't have to be lying about the person that you are now. You take the best attributes and you bring it into the now. So my husband was live earlier and he was talking about, excuse me, this in terms of pastors, right? And for many of them who are, preaching hope and faith and being excited about what God is doing. And then on the back end, sometimes you're just feeling overwhelmed and you don't feel hopeful. And you got to go out into the world and love on people and nurture people and tell them God's going to work it out when you got your own house that's on fire. You got your own house on fire. So my sister on Instagram said, I read something today that said, we only have to be 1% better today than we were yesterday. And some of us, we just want to be better. We want to be better. Today, I'm going to be more disciplined. Today, I'm going to slow down and have more joy. Today, I'm going to nurture the path that I see myself going down. Today, I'm going to not procrastinate. Might not be tomorrow. Tomorrow, I might be procrastinating like I don't know what. But today, I'm going to do what I said I was going to do when I thought about it and go ahead and get it out the way. I'm not going to hold on to things rolling over again and again. Today, I'm not going to micromanage and hover over the people that I love. Today, I'm going to pass the baton over to you knowing that you can handle it. Today, I'm going to be a version of the me that's coming. But what we don't want to be is sis on Instagram, right? Who is like, oh, I'm living my best life, Fendi bags, and you being evicted. Bags that cost thousands of dollars, cars that cost six figures. And that's not your actual life. And some of us, we're faking it till we make it emotionally. And of course, this is always where I come in and say, okay, there's some places in our life that are just it's not working. It's catching on fire. I need to work through some of these attributes and these aspects of my life because I want to be able to be authentic. I want to be able to come on here and have joy and mean it. In fact, there are some days where I'm like, okay, I'm tired, right? I'm worn out and my kids drove me crazy. I need to take some time. And I'm able to come back to you guys, the community, right? From a rested and restored place. I do not go off and try and run around and do faith. That's why some people, they say, Christina, you're always so energetic. Christina, you always bring this pizzazz when you come on camera. It's because I'm operating from a healed place. And on the days when I don't want to be bothered with nobody, y'all get a replay. On the days where life is hectic and I'm laying down on the couch next to my husband, y'all gonna get this replay. On the days when things are busy, but I've done everything that's in alignment with who I said I was gonna be, I might have got an hour of exercising in. I might have laid all up on my husband, okay? You know what I'm saying? I might have loved my kid, homeschooled my children, did the things I needed to do for them that day. So going live in the evening, work with my clients, planning this conference. I've done things that were in alignment with who I was supposed to be today. So maybe the go live aspect of me is like, okay, tomorrow we'll do that part. Okay. So we have to ask ourselves Am I faking it till I make it, or am I able to stem from an authentic place to show up and serve the people that I love and I care about in my job, in the workspace, in my family, in my home, in my church? All of these places is as of this version of myself, showing up and giving the best of me to the people that I love and I care about. But there will be times when I need to do some inner sorting through. And there's nothing wrong with that. I was sharing with one of my clients earlier today. I was like, sis, there's nothing wrong with you feeling how you feel. I said, so now let's work on how we respond to these feelings. Let's work on that part. Let's work on our response to it. Let's work on reworking our family situation so that it's synergistic with what you all want for your family. This is a different ball game. But we're not ignoring or neglecting how you feel. I'm here. I'm walking through it with you. Now let's see what we're going to do about it. Okay. And so for those of us who are feeling like the expression that I'm giving to the rest of the world does not match the inner me, you're showing the world a smile. You're showing the world hope. You're showing the world you're in a peaceful place. You're showing the world how much you love family and believe in this. But inside, the inner version of us is in some turmoil right now. The inner version of us is all over the place. The inner me, the mental me, is scatterbrained. I procrastinate. I feel overwhelmed. I'm working on so many ideas and so many things at this one time. And I'm wondering why I'm not finishing anything. I really want to put my energy and my stamina into this idea or this goal, but I feel like I can't even sit here and brainstorm on it without 56 interruptions because my life is not conducive to me being this person. It's my life. It's my family. Everything is hectic and moving. Maybe you're somebody that has prayed many prayers and God has answered those prayers. And now in this place in your life, you're like, I have so much abundance and so much overflow that I need help organizing and putting things into place. Okay. If that's you, you're in the right place. But what I want to encourage all of you to do is to do some inner checks. And if you're not sure how to do that, reach out. We'll do it together. We'll do it together. Where we do that, we look at the ideas, we look at the math, we look at where we want to go next, and we say, okay, who I am as a person right now is not being reflected in the outer version of me. So I need to do some inner work to make that happen, okay? But I want you to know that you don't have to fake it till you make it. I want you to know that you don't have to just go with the flow and hope that things turn around. I don't want you to feel like you just got to go with the flow and eventually your kids will get it, or your husband will understand, or it'll just all work out. It's like, no, there has to be an intentional deviation from the old version to the new version. There have been many a challenging conversation that me and my husband have had to have where we said, okay, this is what's happening. This is how you feel. This is how I feel. Okay, now we're going to come together. We're going to create an action plan to help us move forward. What's the action step that's going to happen as a result of this conversation? What are we going to do? And that helped to lead us to a different level in our relationship or in our family dynamic or the goals we had. Because we said to ourselves, this is not working, but what's our action step going to be after? I coached with a young lady yesterday and she's not watching tonight. But we went through, I listened for a while and then we just started going through what she's working on and where she wants to go. And I said, okay, well, this is what I'm going to challenge you to do. And we just mapped it all out. She said, I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know how to do it. I knew that I needed to do X, Y, and Z, but I just didn't know how. And sometimes we end up faking it till we make it. because we don't know how. I always entertain or offer to you, it's up to you to accept this idea, okay? I always offer to you guys that whatever your it is for you, okay? Like I put on my timeline earlier today, daytime TV is just what's next. I know that in my soul. Y'all know that. It's just what it is, okay? In this same thought pattern, going in this same direction, how are we going to do it? Not if. And so many of us, when we're scatterbrained, we're all over the place. Our inner work is just a mess. Our brain is a mess. It's ideas everywhere and procrastinating everywhere. And then we got kids talking to us and we're overstimulated and all of these things, all of this stuff that's happening in our minds and going all haywire. The key is organizing and reframing it so that it can turn into a how, not an if. You are supposed to do it. That idea is supposed to change the world. You are supposed to shake everything up. You just are. It is for you. The question is how. And I think we end up doing the fake until we make it. We become the double-minded man or woman who is unstable in all of her ways because we go back and forth between if, but not how. Okay? And so tonight, as we wrap up, I want you to know that you can sit in a very authentic place even while you are still a work in progress. There is not a single one of us who can skip over the process. Good evening. Not a single one of us can bypass doing so. They call it the mindset work. I just call it get your brain together. What are your thoughts telling you? Begin to identify it and do that work. So when it's coming to derail you, you already know what's up. As a woman, as a wife, if you're married, as a mother, as a world changer and planet shaker, somebody with ideas and goals that are meant to change the world, if we end up being double-minded and going back and forth, it's only slowing our progress because we're not seeing things through to the end. And so faking it till we make it, putting up a facade that we're okay, there has to be a safe space somewhere. There has to be a space where we feel like, hey, I'm okay with where I am right now. This is a good thing. Certain hiccups happened with the conference this year, and I told my husband, I said, baby, I'm different this year. He said, what you mean? I said, when I didn't have the resolution that I thought I was going to get, my first thought was, okay, God is still stretching me. And it didn't mean that I didn't have moments, but it was like, oh, wait, like God is still stretching me in this moment. And I didn't spiral, right? Like days when you used to have a whole, you don't spiral like you used to. You're able to hear your own thoughts, say, you know what? No, that's not going to serve me right now. I need to get out of this mindset and go to this one because that's not serving me. That's not helping me. Changing our thought patterns, changing what we do, changing how we do it, and being okay with the process. Okay. So as you're pulling your thoughts together, as you're doing your work this week, I want you to ask yourself, how do I show up in my most authentic place? Even while I'm still working through it. Okay. Even while I'm still working on my goals and transforming my life and saying yes to the next level. Be somebody that if you don't have the safe space already, be somebody that creates it. Be somebody that is that sounding board for someone else. And I can't do it as often as I like, but it's an honor for me to be able to collaborate with you all and just say, hey, somebody is here, even if it's in a message or whatever. I hear you. I see you. You are valued. You're important. Your work is important. Your ideas are important. Now, when it's time, we walk together to go see that through to fruition. When it's time. And so now I'm a week out from the conference. We are a week out from the conference. I feel good today. I'm excited. And I know that God is doing something incredible that we just get to go along on the ride for. Okay. In the midst of all this, I just want to encourage you to keep your head up. This is not your stopping point. Whatever place you're in right now, this is not your stopping point. This is just a pausing moment. It's an opportunity for your story to get better. It's an opportunity for God to show you who He is. It's an opportunity for you to grow as a person and mature. It's an opportunity for your relationships to improve. It's an opportunity for you and your significant other or your kids for y'all to be tested and stretched a little bit, but for you to still pull it together because it's possible. It's an opportunity for you to show God that you trust Him. It's an opportunity. This is not your stopping point. So what would the best version of the future you do right now? We're not talking about fake G-Wagons and Fendi bags on the internet. We're talking about the characteristics of the future version of you. What would she do? And then pull out some of those traits today to work on that situation. Yeah? Okay. Last but not least, if anything that I've shared tonight has resonated with you or today, depending on when you watch this, I want you to hop in my messenger. Okay. If you know that you want somebody to walk with you through your process, I work with ambitious moms who have a mission that is meant to shake the planet, where you have big ideas or, ideas that have just been in your heart for a long time, but your busy life, your schedule, your mind drama has kept you back from walking forward to be that woman. Okay. We here in this community, all we do is work-life balance and helping you to step up to the plate so that you are the best version of yourself. You're bringing the future you into the you of today. Okay. So if you need support with that, accountability, I'm not trying to gloat, but I'm really good at my job. Really good at my job. And the internet agrees. The internet agrees. So if I can help to encourage you, walk with you, all of our clients come and sign on for a 6-month coaching partnership. And baby, we change your life in those 6 months. Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't even put the discovery call link in the caption or anything because this is kind of impromptu. Slide in my DMs if you need support with your productivity, work-life balance, family management, and reaching your goals going into 2023. All right. Good night, everybody. I love you guys. And for those of you that it applies to, I can't wait to see y'all next week. All right. Bye.